I'm back out here. It's first week of May, and just a quick one, so kind of like the last one. I didn't bring my full camera rig out today. I'm just using my phone. Yeah, just warming up the tractor. Drove out this morning. I think a pretty good time actually. Only a couple hours this time, but I had to stop along the way and look at some lots out here and capture some video for my brother's thinking about coming out here. But I wanted to just have a look at the area that I cleared. There's other videos on the painstakingly slow process of sort of reclaiming this land after leaving it for 2 years since a dozer came through. And it all looked like that green space over there, just some brush, no drama. But as I had hoped for, the sun is getting down to the ground now without this brush, and I've actually got grass growing, which is super cool. Hopefully we have enough water this year to support the grass. The grass will come up fast. I'll come back and take care of the little oaks that are starting to push through again from the remaining roots that are still underground. But I'm really happy to see the grass growing. That's going to help stabilize the soil, and it's going to help keep other stuff from growing here. So I'll give you a closer look at what was removed, which hasn't really changed much from last fall to this spring. With good reason, because of winter. But this is what all that area looked like. So, the ground's not quite as smooth here, and that's kind of why I stopped. I got to move some of this stuff that was left behind from the dozer passing through. And then I got to figure out my strategy and path for bringing the tractor through here without rolling over or creating some unsafe situation. This is sort of a lower area for a campfire and stuff, so super happy to see the grass growing on the hill there. And today I'm going to get back to putting some gravel down on the lower part of the driveway that has the most shade and stays the wettest the longest. Yeah, so I'll be on the tractor most of the day today, but I'll capture a little bit of video doing that as well, or at least show you what I got going on there. And so there's a wash nearby that's on a piece of property that's private property, and the owner doesn't have any trouble with me dipping in there and scraping out some gravel from the bottom of the wash. It probably ranges from sort of 1/2 inch up to 2 or 3 inch gravel, and then I hand pick out anything bigger than that. So yeah, you guys have been introduced to my tractor before, but if you haven't seen anything from me before, I got a 2020 3025D direct drive, no hydrostat. So I've also added the bucket position indicator, which is handy. They don't actually call one out in the parts catalog for the 3025D, but my dealer helped me find one that was suitable, and I put it on. It works just fine. Yeah, sorry for the heavy breathing. It's just coming up that hill is a bit of work. It's not very long, but it's probably 16-17% grade right there, 17% grade right there. So they look pretty even. And even if you're only coming 50 or 100 feet, in the springtime, after putting on some winter weight and not exercising enough, it'll take it out of me. So I'm gonna get on the tractor, head down the driveway. I'll show you the driveway when I get down there, and then a little bit more about what I'm doing. All right, so I just came down the driveway a little bit. You might hear the tractor idling in the background. It was all downhill. It's not quite fully up to running temperature yet, so just leaving it idle and get a little more temperature in it before we start to work it. But I also wanted to point out that box scraper is just amazing. I was able to level out the driveway last fall, and last time I was here in the previous video, you would have seen there was more than 2 feet of snow on the driveway here just a few weeks ago. And we've had a couple of big rainstorms this spring. Not a ton, but the little bit of rain that we had came fast and heavy. So I'm really happy with how the driveway has held up. On the left, there's some drainage, curbing, just to keep it on that side as it comes down the hill here. And where I would typically have a lot of problems right up at that left turn there, there's no sign of any water coming across the driveway this year, which is fantastic. And then if we look at some of this gravel here, this is the gravel I'm pulling out of the wash. Like I said, anything from 3 or 4 inches down to sand. And over here is the section of driveway where it really needs it, because there's so much shade here, which is why the snow stayed here for so long. And probably even, at least halfway between here and that other turn. But looking down the driveway, this is, my goal for the day is I got maybe an inch or so of gravel on most of it last year. I wouldn't say it's 100% covered, but I'd like to keep going with that. Get that done today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the fingers all the way down in the box scraper. I'll make a pass or two in the wash where I want to collect the material from, and then I'll scoop it up and I'll bring it back. I don't have a dump truck or dump trailer, so it's going to be one bucket at a time. It took me about 8 hours to get as much done as you can see. Last year it was a full day of just scooping and dumping, and that got me this far. I don't know if I'll get a full 8 hours in today because I got some other work I need to do, but that's the goal, is just to keep chipping away at it. That's the only way it gets done, is just keep chipping away at it. So I'm gonna get back on the tractor. I'm sure she's warmed up by now, good oil temperature, good water temperature, and go to work. And I'll show you some of the progress along the way. So here we are down in the wash, and as I said, I've dropped the fingers in the box scraper all the way down to their deepest position. I've come through and made 2 passes on the wash here, and the gravel's pretty good, looking pretty good. And now I'm going to start taking scoops up to the driveway. So my main goal here is just to get really full buckets as much as I can and minimize the number of trips that I need to take. But yeah, it was a lot softer than I thought, or the tractor and the box scraper did a much better job than I expected, because I didn't get stopped at all. Fortunately no big boulders in the ground. But with my box scraper dropped all the way down, the fingers all the way down, I ripped right through that stuff pretty easily. It doesn't appear to be really damp. Maybe a little moisture under the surface, but it's not wet or anything. So, once again, I continue to be impressed by the performance of the John Deere 3025D. So I'm going to get back to work and bring you back on a little bit later. So nice big scoops like that will help reduce the number of trips I have to make. I'm going to lose a little material carrying this back, but that's the goal. Okay, so after dragging the wash a little bit, breaking up the surface so I can make some scoops down there, the road was a little bumpy, and I'm also going to want to grade the driveway later today once I have some more material on it. So I just came up, grabbed something to drink, and turned the forks upside down on the box scraper. I don't need those anymore today. I can smooth out the road a little bit just by dropping a level box on it, and it's the same thing I'm going to do on the driveway when I get ready to really sort of push the material around, level it out a little bit. So just thought I'd show you that real quick, and we're going to carry on. Okay, so here it is a few hours later, and I got a pretty nice even layer of gravel on the driveway, no bald patches. Some of the stones are probably still a little too big, and I'll have to hand pick those out. But I went over it a couple times with the box scraper, found a depth that was pretty consistent, engagement with the ground, and smoothed it all out. Only been down it once with the truck, but it feels pretty good. And I'd like to do a little bit more, but I gotta run to another job, so I'll catch you all later. Thanks.